So you click Buy Now, and what? A day or two later, a box just magically shows up at your door, right? Well, it feels like magic. But behind that one little click, there's this incredible digital dance happening inside a giant warehouse. Today, we're going to follow a single order on its journey and peel back the curtain on the hidden digital brain that gets it from a shelf and onto a truck. So let's kick things off.
I mean, have you ever really thought about it? We are talking about buildings that are the size of, I don't know, multiple football fields, packed with millions and millions of items. How on earth does a system find your specific thing, figure out the fastest way to grab it, and get it on its way, all in just a few minutes?
Well, the answer isn't some secret magician's trick, of course. It's actually a super sophisticated process, a digital journey that's managed by a powerful system that guides every single step with just mind-blowing precision. And before we dive into how it all works, let's just take a second to really appreciate the challenge here. A modern warehouse is like a symphony of organized chaos. The scale, the speed, you absolutely need a powerful digital brain just to conduct the whole thing.
And that brain is a system called SAP Extended Warehouse Management, or EWM for short. And honestly, this analogy is perfect. It's the warehouse's air traffic control. You know, just like a controller knows where every single plane is in the sky, EWM knows where every single item is in the warehouse. It directs all the traffic to make sure things move efficiently and nothing crashes.
All right, so let's start our journey. We're going to follow an order from the very first moment it hits this digital brain. Okay, so it all starts in the main company-wide business system, something called an ERP. The second you place your order, that ERP creates the first official document, an outbound delivery. You can think of that as the starting gun. That request is then sent digitally over to the warehouse's brain, the EWM system. EWM then takes that request and translates it into its own set of instructions called an outbound delivery order, or ODO.
And this document, the ODO, is basically the master key for everything that's about to happen inside the warehouse. It is the official, super detailed to-do list. It has every single piece of information the warehouse needs to get the job done, from what item to pick all the way to where it needs to end up.
Okay, so the warehouse has its to-do list, but how exactly is it going to get it done? That's the next piece of the puzzle, creating a really detailed plan for picking the items.
So here's how that plan gets made. For every single item on that to-do list, the system looks up something called a warehouse process type, or WPT. This is basically the how-to rule book for that specific task. It tells the system what kind of activity we're doing here. Is this a simple pick? Does it need to be packed in a special way? Is it going to a staging area first? The WPT knows.
For a standard pick, the rule book is pretty clear. The process category is stock removal. We're taking something out. The activity is, you guessed it, pick, and it also specifies the destination, like where does this item need to go once it's picked. All these digital rules guide the physical action with perfect clarity.
Now this is where things get really, really intelligent. The system knows what to pick, and it knows how to handle the process. But now for the big one, it has to figure out where to get it from.
And that question is a huge deal. I mean, a single product might be sitting in dozens, maybe hundreds of different bins all over the warehouse. If you pick from the wrong one, you're just wasting time and energy. The system's job is to find the absolute best, most efficient place to grab that item, and it has to do it instantly. And it does this using what's called a stock removal strategy. And yeah, the GPS analogy here is spot on. Think about it. Your phone's GPS looks at traffic, distance, road closures, all that stuff to find the best route. The EWM system does the same thing, using a whole bunch of rules and data to find the perfect bin to pick from. So, what kind of clues does this digital GPS use? Well, it looks at a ton of different data points to narrow down the right spot. It knows which warehouse it's in, obviously. It checks for special indicators, like is this a hazardous material that needs special handling? Is this stock already reserved for someone else's order? All these little clues get fed into the strategy, and it spits out the smartest decision in a fraction of a second. Now, the system has two main ways it can search. On the left, you've got the search sequence. This is kind of like walking down the street, checking your favorite stores one by one. It looks in location A, then location B, then C, and the second it finds enough of what it needs, it stops. Simple. On the right, though, is the storage type group. This is totally different. This is like asking all the stores to bring their inventory to you at once. It gathers up all the available stock from a whole group of areas and then applies one single sorting rule to that entire pile to find the absolute best option. So, we've gone from an order to a to-do list, from a rule book to a GPS route.
All of this incredible digital planning has been leading up to one final critical moment. And that final step is the creation of a warehouse task. This is it. This is the finish line for all the digital work. It's the final, simple, actionable instruction that gets sent to a worker's scanner, or maybe even directly to a robot. It just says, go to bin A7, pick up product X, and take it to staging area B. That's it.
And that's the whole point, right? This entire complex digital journey, the order, the rules, the strategy, it all funnels down to make one single physical action happen correctly. It's all about triggering that first physical step that gets your package on its way to you.
So why does any of this matter? Well, this digital brain is basically the secret sauce to modern e-commerce. It gives you unbelievable accuracy, making sure you get the right thing every single time. The speed is just insane. It makes these complex decisions in milliseconds. It allows warehouses to scale up for massive events like holiday rushes without breaking a sweat. And it drives incredible efficiency, saving workers from walking miles and miles of unnecessary steps every single day.
It's an amazing system for sure, but it kind of leaves you with a really fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? We've just seen how data drives this whole process right now. But as AI gets smarter and robotics get even more advanced, what's the next evolution of this journey going to look like? What happens when the system doesn't just find the best route, but actually predicts what you want before you even click buy? The digital brain of the warehouse? It's really only just getting started.
Have you ever